All right, party people. Third video on this attaching acknowledgements and jurats. I'm doing this third video because somebody made a good statement, and the statement was basically saying that they use a acknowledgement and a jurat stamp, so therefore they don't need to add a loose certificate. Here's my thing. If the document that you are trying to do that to doesn't have space for it, for you to put the stamp on there, then what are you going to do? You know, there's been some 401k documents that I had to add a loose certificate to because they had a notarial area, but the notarial area was so small and cramped I couldn't put my stamp. And in Virginia, we're required to do our stamp. So if you can't put your stamp on the actual document itself, you know, your normal notarial stamp, how are you going to add a jurat or an acknowledgement stamp? Fuzzy there. There we go. That's a little bit better. All right. You know, then what if the actual document owner wants a separate one? So you still got to do what they're asking. That's why I keep saying you gotta, if in doubt, call the people and ask them, can I do it this way? Can I do it that way? And if they say yes, then fine. But some, you know, and I know a lot of people talk about having this jurat stamp and the acknowledgement stamp, because they don't want to have loose papers with them and all of that. As long as your jurat stamp or acknowledgement stamp has the necessary information or the requisite information that your state requires in it, then yeah, it's nothing wrong with using that. But again, if the company, especially with loan documents, if they're asking you for a separate physical piece of paper that is an acknowledgement or a jurat, that's what you have to provide them and everything, you know. And as I've always said, we have to be mindful of trying to take shortcuts in this business, and just sometimes there's no shortcut. It's just do it out the normal long way. But if everything has to be a shortcut with you, it'll eventually catch up, or more than, and when I'm saying catch up, it could cause the person who you're doing the notarizations for their documents not to be considered legitimately notarized. And that's the main thing you do not want to have happen. So that's why I say go by your state law. What does your state law require? What does your state law say you can do? Just because somebody made something that you could use as a convenience doesn't mean that you need to be doing it or that you're allowed to do it. It's worth the extra effort to check with the proper authorities to find out whether or not you should or could do things a certain way. If you're not willing to do it because you quote unquote don't want to be inconvenienced by doing it the long way, you know, then I don't know what to say. My goal is to make sure that the documents that I notarize are able to be executed by whoever needs them, and that's it. So if I gotta add an all-purpose acknowledgement physical piece of paper, then I will. If I got to hand write out something, that's what I will do. That's the goal of all of this. Okay, this is not about trying to find shortcuts to doing things correctly, you know. So, you know, and I know a lot of people are constantly, well, I'm just trying to spend as least amount of time with that signer, or I'm trying to make sure, you know, I'm doing so many per hour so I can say I made that per hour. And really a lot of this goes back to people trying to say, you know, the money part, you know, printing those extra acknowledgement papers, that's just too much paper for me, so I'd rather have a stamp. Don't disagree. It is extra paper, but if that's what they want, that's what they want. And what I don't hear a lot of people saying, there's a few who said it, but a whole lot of people are saying, oh, I called and found out whether or not they want me to do this. Again, that's what you need to do. And if you're unwilling to do that, and you want to do these makeshift shortcuts that somebody suggested in Facebook or YouTube somewhere and all of that, without verifying it. And there's nothing wrong with people suggesting anything, but we as the business owners got to make sure that, okay, does my state law allow that? And if they say, yeah, you can do that and everything's cool, then maybe the lender or whoever has the document said, well, yeah, I know, but we prefer this. And if what they prefer is still within the legal confines of your state law, then you do that. They say, well, we prefer a paper certificate. We don't want the stamp one. Well, we prefer a stamp one and we don't want the paper one. And as long as either one of them is within the legal confines of your state, then you're good. All right. So I hope that answers some questions, clarifies something. But again, that was a good comment. I think it was Aztec. I think that's what it was. That was the person's name. At least that's how I looked at it. Said Aztec. But that was a good one. Appreciate it. Thanks.